Hi Pre-K! I was so excited to get this book in the mail. Oh, how I wished I could read. I thought we'd take a break from fairy tales and read this story today. Oh, how I wished I could read. I know you guys really like it. We'll also go back and listen for our rhyming words, and when we hear them, we'll identify them. And then I thought in my next video, I have a bunch of fun signs here at home, and since there were so many neat signs like this wet paint sign, I thought we could practice them and you might be able to find them in your neighborhood. We're going to use our reading skills as sounding letters out and also looking for picture clues because that will help us identify what the words are. And then we're also going to talk about color. Color is very important when we see signs around the neighborhood. It helps guide us and identify different things that are important about each and every sign. Let's get back to the story. Oh, how I wished I could read. It's written by John Guile and illustrated by Frank Fiorillo. I awoke with a yell and sat straight up in bed, full of fear and wild worries and trouble and dread. Was it just a bad dream, or was what I feared true? Was reading a feat only others could do? In my dream, I was walking alone on the street and decided to sit down and put up my feet. I discovered too late what the wet paint sign said when the bench left my backside a bright shade of red. Then I saw a cute puppy and I wanted to pet it. A sign trying to warn me I'd better forget it. But the words on the gate meant nothing to me. Till a pack of wild dogs chased me right up a tree. Do we know what that sign said? Beware of dogs. Whew. I continued along on my readingless way, having no way to know what each sign had to say. Can you see all of those? Pumpkin patch, exit, no smoking. I wished I could read, because then I'd know when danger signs warned me where I shouldn't go. A sign said no crossing, but I didn't need it because in my dream I had no way to read it. So I stepped off the sidewalk and oh, what a fuss! I was nearly run down by 2 cars and a bus. I heard honking and beeping and tires squealing and shrieking, cars crashing and smashing and scraping and screeching. Oh my. The drivers were angry, one yelled, all agreed. What's the matter with you? You should learn how to read. Oh, he's so angry, this man. I jumped from the street and I ran away fast. But worried about each sign that I passed. It says eat, detour, hotel, the zoo. Above and beside, behind and below were instructions and warnings I needed to know. Well, that sign says stop, you can see walk, downstairs. In my readingless dream, I felt angry and sad, as if I had lost a best friend, and I had. I was lost and alone and feeling afraid as could be of the readingless trouble still waiting for me. wondered and wondered what words I saw meant. Then got stuck in the muck near a sign, wet cement. So I took off my shoes and sat down to clean them. Two signs blocked my way, but I sat down between them. They said poison ivy, but I didn't know. Till an itchy red rash grew all over one toe. Yikes. When I headed for home to get medication, I went from bad to a worse situation. I opened the cupboard to look for toe ointment, but all I found there was more disappointment. Each bottle and tube on the shelf had a label. I needed to read, but I wasn't able. I itched and I twitched, how I wished I could read. Toe. My toe was on fire from that poisonous weed. Ow! Just then I woke up from my readingless dream when my cat nipped my toe and I let out a scream. Ouch! I threw back my covers and jumped on the floor. I ran to the bookshelves where my books were before. Could I tell a B from a T or a Z? Or were the letters just lines on paper to me? My books told the story as storybooks do. My dream was a nightmare and completely untrue. I can read. At last it was over. At last I was freed from the night when I wished, oh, how I wished I could read. The end. Did you notice anything about some of the words? I'm going to go back and find what some of the rhyming words were. Sat straight up in bed, full of fear and wild worries and trouble and dread. So our rhyming words were bed and dread. Was it just a bad dream? Or was what I feared true? Was reading a feat only others could do? If you said true and do, you got those correct. In my dream, I was walking alone on the street and decided to sit down and put up my feet. Did you guess street and feet? You got it. I discovered too late what the wet paint sign said when the bench left my backside a bright shade of red. Yes, you've got that right. Said and read. Then I saw a cute puppy and wanted to pet it. A sign trying to warn me I'd better forget it. Pet it and forget it. Pet sounds like the end of forget, pet and get. But the words on the gate meant nothing to me till a pack of wild dogs chased me right up a tree. What were the rhyming words there? You got it, me and tree. I continued along on my readingless way, having no way to know what each sign had to say. Way and say. You did great. I wished I could read, because then I could know when danger signs warned me where I shouldn't go. That's right, know and go. A sign said no crossing, but I didn't heed it because in my dream I had no way to read it. Did you hear it? Heed it and read it. That was your rhyme. So I stepped off the sidewalk and oh, what a fuss. I was nearly run down by 2 cars and a bus. Fuss and bus. I heard honking and beeping, tires squealing and shrieking, cars crashing and smashing, and scraping and screeching. We had a few different rhymes in there. We had crashing and smashing. We had beeping, shrieking, and screeching. They all sound very similar with the double E sounds. The drivers were angry when yelled, all agreed. What's the matter with you? You should learn how to read. That's right. You should have heard agreed and read. I jumped from the street and ran away fast, but worried about each sign that I had passed. Did you hear fast and past? Those were your rhyming words. Above and beside, behind and below, were instructions and warnings I needed to know. Below and no. In my reading stream, I felt angry and sad, as if I had lost a best friend, and I had. Sad and had. I was lost and alone and as afraid as could be of the reading list trouble still waiting for me. You heard it, me and be. I wandered and wondered what words I saw meant, then got stuck in the muck near a sign, what cement? Cement and meant rhyme. So I took off my shoes and sat down to clean them. 2 signs blocked my way, but I sat down between them. That's right. If you heard clean them and between them, clean and between have the same ending sound. Those are your rhyming words. They said poison ivy, but I didn't know, till an itchy red rash grew all over one toe. I think you heard toe and no. When I headed for home to get medication, I went from a bad to a worse situation. Medication and situation were your rhyming words. I opened the cupboard to look for toe ointment, but all I found there was more disappointment. Ointment and disappointment rhyme. Each bottle and tube on the shelf had a label. I needed to read, but I wasn't able. Yes, able and label. I itched and I twitched. Oh, how I wished I could read. Itch and twitch. My toe was on fire from that poisonous weed. Yes, you heard read and weed. Those were your rhyming words. Just then I woke up from my reading stream when my cat nipped my toe and I let out a scream. Scream and dream. Those were your rhyming words there. I threw back my covers and jumped to the floor. I ran to the shelf where my books were before. Yes, you've got that right. It's floor and before. Could I tell a B from a T or a Z? Or were the letters just lines on the paper to me? This was a letter sound, Z and me. My books told the story as storybooks do. My dream was a nightmare, completely untrue. Did you hear the last few words? Do and untrue were your rhyming words because the 2 ending sound similar. At last it was over. At last I was freed from the night when I wished, how I wished I could read. Did you hear our last 2 rhyming words? Yes, freed and read. You got it. I hope you enjoyed the story and all of the fun signs. Have a great week. I'll see you on Thursday. Bye.